On Wednesday, February 8th, the highly anticipated and first Nintendo Direct of the year aired, and there are definitely some major announcements, both expected and unexpected, to come out of it. All of these titles are planned to release in the first year of 2023. Let's talk about some of the highlights and some games you should definitely pay attention to if you stay up to date on the Nintendo Switch. Definitely subscribe and give these types of videos a like if you want to see more, and let's jump right in. The Nintendo Direct opened up with Pikmin 4 and it looks great. A confession, I have never played a Pikmin game. And that is very unfortunate because I really want to try one out. Why? Well, while being one of Nintendo's more niche franchises, it definitely has set its foot in the Nintendo world by being consistent with its reception. Starting from its debut in the GameCube, to its way of releasing its fourth title on the Switch this July 21st. Looking at the gameplay, it looks really fun. Is it going to be a system-defining game? Honestly, I think so, but maybe not as much as, let's say, Tears of the Kingdom, a game that I will talk about later. You see, Pikmin 4 is a game that was announced a long time ago, but it wasn't until last year that everyone got to see it for the first time. All that was known about the game was that it existed. This game has some great visuals, some promising gameplay for those who are new to the franchise, such as me, and both familiar faces and new characters. Now, it seems that neither Olimar nor Alf will be in the protagonist, as there is a new character shown that is controlling the Pikmin. On top of that, there is a dog character that is definitely going to help the marketing. How much people love dogs. So, looks great. Definitely should keep an eye on this title, whether you do or do not have Pikmin experience. Later on, they delivered new downloadable content for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Another franchise that I have yet to play, but I 100% promise I will play Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. My copy of the game has just been laying around, but back to the point, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was a success, with it overall satisfying players and getting strong reviews. It looks like they're going to expand on that with this new announcement. Definitely try out this. Developed by the same developers of Danganronpa, Spike Chunsoft, we have a new mystery game coming out. What's interesting about this compared to Danganronpa is that there are more themes about war, has a more urban setting, of course that's no such thing as like a killing game, and is a lot more dramatic with how it presents itself. Of course, it still has the gameplay of where you spot the inconsistency as expected from a mystery game. Speaking of mystery games, a short trailer revealed the next adventures of Professor Layton. It was a small trailer with no gameplay, but it definitely got people excited. Who knows what their plans for this game are? Advanced Wars is another highlight of the Direct. This is a remake of an iconic Game Boy Advance title developed by Nintendo decades ago, and is getting its full-fledged remake on the Nintendo Switch. This is one of those Nintendo games that can be described as the lower budget titles of Nintendo, but still have a lot of charm to it. With its good price that's selling for, it seems worthwhile. Might not be my type of game, but if the reception and sales numbers are a success, this might pitch in some new ideas for the future of the franchise. The big surprise of the Nintendo Direct was Metroid Prime Remaster. This is one of the most requested titles for the Nintendo Switch, and although people were usually requesting a trilogy of the three games, one is better than nothing. For some background, Metroid Prime is basically the highest rated GameCube game. It was revolutionary for Nintendo, the franchise, GameCube, first-person shooters, and just major titles in the video game industry. It doesn't stop there though, because it dropped the same day the Direct airs, with a physical edition coming soon. Of course, it's not a Nintendo Direct without talking about everyone's favorite, Nintendo Switch Online. Yes, that was sarcasm. For real though, some big things are coming. They revealed the next Nintendo system to be included in the service, Game Boy, with Mario Land 2, Wario Land, Metroid 2, Tetris, some cool stuff here. Some games in the traditional green and black color scheme, and others with way more color. Then they went above and beyond and also included Game Boy Advanced. Some games here include Super Mario Circuit, Super Mario Advance 4, The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, Metroid Fusion, Fire Emblem, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, and so on. Some may argue that the subscription is becoming more worth it, and I can see why some may think that. However, I'm sure it would be much better if these games were able to be purchased individually. Regardless, if you do have the subscription and like Game Boy games, that's a winning situation for you. My favorite Kirby game is Return to Dreamland. For a while, it has been known that a remastered edition is headed to Switch, for of course, $60, but right now that's besides the point. A great game, there is an extension to the game along with it, called Magolor Epilogue, the Interdimensional Traveler. This game is Magolor's standalone spin-off of the main game and has specific mechanics of its own. Magolor is only able to attack and jump, and he must build back his power which is accomplished throughout the game. which makes him even more powerful as the game progresses, and of course, you can play up to 4 players. All you have to do to get this extension is to beat Kirby's Return to Dreamland, and trust me, it is worth it. While still being a platformer, it will play in a way that is different from most Kirby games. I definitely would keep this and Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe on your radar, especially if you have never played the original. Every Nintendo Direct has its one more thing moment, and well, that type of announcement for this Direct was not surprising and expected. It still serves as a good reminder of what is to come, and that is... That's right. Once again, I am talking about my, and many others, most anticipated game of 2023, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, releasing this May 12th. This is most likely the final trailer of the game before its release, so I'm excluding launch and accolades trailers. And what else is left to be said? New mechanics, a story waiting to be told, great visuals, keeping what made Breath of the Wild so good and improving on it, a massive adventure with plenty of attention to details, a brand new amiibo, some cool stuff in its new collector's edition, MSRP at $70, and... wait, what? Well, that is very unfortunate. So one of my least favorite things to talk about when it comes to video games is the rise of games becoming $70, and having that be the norm. PlayStation started doing this in the beginning of the PS5, Xbox is committed to doing this since 2023, a lot of major third-party publishers are doing this model, and well, Nintendo has been relatively silent about this until now. For me, I thought Nintendo would have also followed suit eventually, but I didn't think that it would be in this generation. I thought it would be when their next system releases. Pikmin 4 and other first-party titles are going to remain at $60, but Tears of the Kingdom on the eShop is shown at $70. Obviously, a lot of people are very upset about this, and I am too. The only question is, how many will cave into this? Even I myself am wondering if I will just have to suck it up and go buy it. Especially when Nintendo Switch first-party titles barely go on sale or drop in MSRP price. The good news is that it was said from Nintendo that it will not be the norm for games going forward, at least not yet, and will only apply to specific titles, so at least we have that. That wraps up the highlights of the Nintendo Direct. Overall, it was enjoyable, and it seems that they are trying to cram in as much as they can as the Switch is beginning to show its age. I don't think they will reveal any new Switches or system this year, but at the same time, since this Direct was meant for games in the first half, they definitely have plans for the second half. Let me know what you thought about the Nintendo Direct. Loved it? Didn't love it? What were your favorite announcements? How do you feel about Tears of the Kingdom being $70? That will be it for this video. Stay tuned for the next video as the lists and rankings will be back.